We begin our report at the Supreme Court, where protesters gathered outside as justices heard arguments for and against President Biden's student loan relief plan. The program would forgive $430 billion in debt for more than 40 million borrowers. But the effort faces a conservative majority of justices who seem skeptical as they questioned lawyers in two separate lawsuits. CBS News chief legal correspondent Jan Crawford has the latest.
Students came to make their voices heard.
It's a lot of anxiety and fear.
25-year-old Janaea Moore would see about a third of her $70,000 student loan debt erased under President Biden's forgiveness plan.
I feel like my life is on the line if it doesn't get canceled.
She is one of 43 million people eligible for some student loan debt relief. Those making less than $125,000 a year could get $10,000 in debt forgiven. Those with Pell Grants could get $20,000 erased. But that comes at a cost, nearly $500 billion. Critics say on an issue this big, Congress has to sign off. Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey is one of the state Republican leaders urging the court to kill the program.
As someone who paid for my school in blood, sweat, and tears in service to my nation, that's an issue that's near and dear to my heart. I'm confident the court will reach the right decision.
A confidence that was bolstered during 3 hours of arguments, as conservative justices seem skeptical that President Biden could single-handedly forgive student debt for 95% of borrowers.
I think most casual observers would say if you're going to give up that much amount of money, if you're going to affect the obligations of that many Americans on a subject that's of great controversy, they would think that's something for Congress to act on.
But liberal justices said the law gave the administration power to act during national emergencies like COVID.
There's 50 million students who are will benefit from this, who today will struggle.
But the Republican leaders who are fighting to stop the Biden plan say all that debt cancellation is going to cost their states money. A decision in this case is expected by the end of June. John?
Jan, based on the posture of the conservative justices and their questioning, is there any version of this case where the Biden administration gets its student loan forgiveness plan past this court?
You know what, John? There is, actually. It's a slight chance. But first of all, and I thought that there were a couple of the conservative justices, notably Justices Barrett and Kavanaugh, who seemed a little troubled by this initial wrinkle. To get out of the gate, these challengers have to show they have the legal standing. It's a procedural question, a jurisdictional question, to even be in the court in the first place. So there were a lot of questions today about whether these Republican officials and these two students who are arguing that the student loan program should actually be even bigger, whether they are the proper parties in front of the court. So if the justices decide that they're not, well, then the case is just tossed out and they never reach the merits at all. So, yes, I mean, there is a chance that the White House could still get a win out of this court. That would be a narrow win and not necessarily decisive win. But, hey, you know, a win is a win, and, you know, we'll see by the end of June.
The way things are looking now, they would take that win. But back on the merits, which you talked about. So
yeah, on the merits, yeah.
Were the justices concerned more about whether this Biden plan was allowable within the language of the legislation, or did they have a grander idea, which is this idea that basically whenever the executive branch and the administrative agency is trying to do something that's too grand, that it should always go back to Congress because that's just too much power?
You know, that's actually that's an interesting question, John, and I think you saw some of both. I mean, obviously, the initial analysis is whether or not the law authorizes this. It uses words like, you know, the Secretary of Education can do things like waive the programs or modify the programs. And so the conservatives are saying, well, like, those words are pretty narrow, you know, compared to, like, erase all student loan debt. So they were looking at some of the words of the statute and whether the White House had the kind of authority to do this. But then you saw some of these broader, overarching questions by, the Chief Justice, who at several points talked about how the court is concerned about these big separation of powers issues. And we have that kind of divided government so that there aren't abuses, as the Chief Justice put it. And he even referred to a case back from the Trump administration when the court, with a 5-4 vote, and John Roberts was a key vote in that case, ruled against President Donald Trump when he tried to end the Dreamers program, saying that Trump had not done it the right way. So I think, great question. I mean, you saw some of both. But, yes, that big point about things being done the right way in our divided system of government, that also came through in this case.
Jan Crawford, always great to talk to you on a Supreme Court argument day. Thanks, Jan.
Thanks, John.